So today we're going to work on fatigue profiling. It's something you don't see a lot of when you're searching the internet for ways to use your power meter to its fullest potential. But the idea is that we're going to figure out where we are the most weak within each zone. I got a little helper today. All right, so this test today is going to be zone 7. This is your neuromuscular power zone. This is where your sprint power comes from. So I guess this would be important for working on that final snap to beat someone to the line. We're targeting time frames of 5, 10, and 20 seconds. So we're going to do 3 basically 7-second intervals. Okay. Then take 2 to 3 minutes rest between each of those intervals. And then run another sprint about 10 to 12 seconds, okay? Just as hard as you can. Then after that, do like a 22 to 25 second sprint, as hard as you can. After you do all those, we're gonna go to a website like maybe Strava, or if you have Training Peaks, or even you could just look at your Zwift power profile for the ride, and we can find out, which power sections or time frames you are the strongest. And then at what point does your power drop off dramatically? So let's go do that. First sprint here, give it all you got. All right. So now that you've done your workout, go to your power numbers for the ride. Find your 5-second power. For me on this ride was 1,051 watts. Find your 10-second. For me this ride was 943 watts. And then find your 20-second power, which for me was 833 watts. All right, a couple things before we figure out our power first. My favorite YouTube channel is The Vegan Cyclist. I mean, I like him so much I even bought some of his apparel, so go check him out if you want to see some cool shirts and get some good family bike balance type stuff. Second, the book that I get this out of is a must if you have a power meter. It's Training and Racing with the Power Meter. And lastly, this company called Log and Jotter. It's the place where I kind of document all my training. If you're interested in keeping track of these things and writing down your thoughts and keeping a diary sort of your training, go check them out. I believe their website's logandjotter.com. $5 a month, you get a sweet new design. They hold up pretty well. I carry this one in my back pocket all the time, and it's near the end of January, so it's worth checking out. This is different than power profiling that probably a lot of you have heard of or seen before. Power profiling takes your 5-second, 1-minute, 5-minute, and FTP powers, and you break it down into watts per kilo. Fatigue profiling looks at how quick you tire out within each zone. So we look only at zone 7. Or, if you do the zone 6 profile, you look only within zone 6 and then 5 and 4 and so on. And the idea is if your power drops significantly from, let's say, since this is about zone 7, let's say your power drops significantly from your 5-second to your 10-second power. That means that you are not, let's say, I don't know how to word this, your fatigue resistance is weak. It's below average. So let's take a look at my numbers. So here's how you do this. First, jot down your 5-second, 10-second, and 20-second powers. Take your 5-second power minus your 10-second power. So for me, it's 1,051 minus 943. That equals 108. Then take that number, 108, and divide it by your 5-second power. So 108 divided by 1,051. For me, that equals 0.102. Then multiply it by 100, and you'll get the percentage of drop. So my drop was 10.2%. And if you look at, cross it in the chart that you find in Training and Racing with the Power Meter, that means that my fatigue profile or my fatigue resistance is well above average for that zone. Now these numbers are not above average. These numbers would put me really low on the power profile chart. But all it's saying is that within that zone, I have pretty decent endurance. So now let's look at our drop to our 20-second power. So here's how you do that math. Take your 5-second power minus your 20-second power. So for me, it's 1,051 minus 833. That equals 218. Then you take 218 divided by your 5-second power again. So 218 divided by 1,051, that equals 0.207. Multiply it by 100 to get the percentage of drop, and that equals 20.7%. Cross it with the fatigue profile chart, and that comes out to an above average fatigue resistance. So even though my numbers aren't that great, I'm pretty, I don't know, my endurance within this zone is pretty good. So it means that I'm not going to beat anybody in the last 50 meters of a race. Really, honestly, I'm probably not going to beat anybody within the last 300 meters of a race. But my fatigue resistance is pretty high, so I can ride pretty close to a constant power for that whole, last 350, 400 meters of a race. So use it. Do what you can to get better. I mean, for me, it's January. Racing season is, 3 months away. I think my first time trial with my racing club is the first week in April. Time trialing is my favorite, so we got to get better now. That's all I got for today. Just an average cyclist. See ya.